Alrighty. Here we go again. We'll continue on this part down here. So let us find the spot we're looking for. I tell you, just looking at this picture, we have a long way to go. Okay, we'll start down here. First thing we'll do, I'd say, is just complete the outline of this entire flower using some very light colors, perhaps. Let's put this weight on here, see if we can get the paper to stay down. Probably gonna get in the way, probably have to move it. Okay, over here, we'll just start. Let's move this. Okay. Using this sort of, this darker olive color. Okay. Then we'll use the dark green from this point here towards the left. Maybe goes a little higher. Then over here we'll switch to the maybe the olive color. Let's see. Come right here. Looks like our weight in the way. Let's come right here. Okay, and then come down. Probably need a, obviously we're gonna have to make this spot a little darker. Okay, I think that's about right. Okay, I think I'm gonna put a little piece of tape right there. Kind of hold this edge down. Sort of just nice clear Scotch tape tends to do a good job at holding down paper without sticking so hard that it destroys it when you pull it off. Now I will say I did use a piece of electric tape initially to kind of unfold this paper, and electric tape did mess it up a little bit, but nothing that, you know, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's start down this way. We'll work our way up. Okay. Now you can see we're pretty similar shade of green to the spot we did last time, so we'll try to use those similar colors. Right now, let's just bring this line. Let's use the bright yellow. Where is it? Let's see. Maybe on the ground. There it is. On the ground. Okay, let's just bring this line across to here. Not there. A little. Let's use this dark one. Right under here, there's sort of this darker. Okay. Let's see, let's get this dark green. Even though it's really just black, honestly. Let's get this dark right here. And we'll just maybe add a little black to that. Just a little bit for now. We don't need to finish this because the tape's in the way. We'll come back to that later. Okay, let's get some in sort of this. Kind of dark green looking. Okay. Okay, over here, sort of. Darker spot here. Tiny little bit of black we'll add to that. That's a little bit. So I think let's do. Ooh, these are real subtle shades. Let's get rid of some of these grid lines. When you don't know what to do, erase some grid lines. Okay. So what we are going to do is kind of just do a background color with this lighter olive green, just kind of along all in here, down, especially down at this sort of lower half. I think that is the right shade, but we're gonna have to darken it a bit. Okay. So over here as well, we kind of got, and then right here, right along this tip, there's just a little bit subtle, darker area that kind of comes down. Okay, let's kind of just add a little bit more to this, and let's take the darker one, kind of darken this area in here. It kind of connects to this dark little hole, whatever it is. And then it gets a little lighter towards the left. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Okay, then we're going to take, I think I know what we're going to do. Let's take a little bit more of this one, kind of go up this way with it. And then I'll just come over here and use this as a background. And kind of stay under the line right here. A little bit less on this part. Okay. In the lighter areas, we're going to add some of that real bright one we use. Let's vacuum up some of that. Okay, here's our, well, actually let's put some more right there. Alright, right in here we want to put a lot more of this brighter color. Some over here too, although this is more going to be whitish, but let's just put a little bit. Okay, up here do some. Alright, and then put this darker kind of down in here. Okay. Let's put a little bit of this brighter one in this little spot. Okay. Let's vacuum real quick. Bumping the camera again. I'll tell you, it's definitely a learning experience trying to record this. Okay, let's just do a smudge and just see how it comes out. And of course, as always, we know it's not going to come out perfect the first time. Okay, let's go in with some of that green chalk we kind of had yesterday, and just add some where we think it needs to be a little darker. Right in here, kind of over here, over here, and then maybe kind of in that direction. Okay, and let's smudge that in. Just kind of change the quality of the whole thing, which, like I said, can't always guarantee you is actually the smart move. Okay, let's kind of redarken this area. Kind of has his little shoulders to this thing. I'll say I'm thinking I might be tempted. Well, let's see. Let's take some of our dark green, kind of add to this area. Okay, let's kind of accentuate these sort of, well, just this sort of darker edge over here a little bit. Okay, let's see, kind of smudge that. It really does need to be darker down here. Let's put a tiny bit of black in here. Black can always darken things up nicely. Not too much though. Alright, let's kind of soften this a little bit. That color honestly might be just a little too loud on this part. Let's put this darker one. Oh, I like that. Every now and again something just kind of happens that I don't know why. And I may be wrong, but it just seemed like it fixed whatever problem you felt like you were dealing with at the moment. Okay, let's brighten up this top or higher spot up here. Okay, let's add a little bit of this to this. Okay, smudge that. Go over here, we need to bring this all the way over here. Okay, let's add a little bit to this. We're going to go overlay this with white, but I think it needs a kind of darker beginning to it. Okay. Let's come back under here just a bit with this olive. this lighter color right there. Okay. Let's see what we can do with our white. There it is. Okay. Just kind of brighten this right up here. Like we kind of missed something on this. I think I see. Bring a little white overlay. Just kind of comes down along here. I think there was this little hint of kind of a little darker, little kind of came right up in here. And then we need to add kind of some white in this spot, just a little bit. But we do need to soften this edge here. Let's get our, where's the one? Soften this edge. Now we need, I think what we should do, well, we'll come back to this a little later. Okay. Let's come under here with some of this, finish this area off. Over here, kind of, it's very real bright, whitish. Okay, this looks okay-ish. I think maybe let's throw in a little bit of this and see what that does. Let's throw that and just kind of change the quality kind of up here. Smudge that in. I do think we're gonna want to you might notice this darker area is it does look darker, but there's still some white shining through, which I hate. Let's take some of this dark and really kind of push in there. Just don't want any light shining through when you're trying to make things dark. And we could put a little more black in there too, but definitely not too much. And then maybe a little bit of smudging of a little darker green, kind of just right here in the transition up to the top. Okay. Alright. Let's soften this. Where's our white? Here we go. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's move on to this spot up here. You can notice there's a kind of, there's a curve of green. We'll draw that in, kind of going like this. Kind of starts right here. Actually, let me sharpen this one. tell you, this new pencil sharpener is amazing. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay, right about here. Kind of an awkward angle to do this. Especially, come over here. Come down. Alright. Okay. So let's, alright, we got that. Let's go move over here. Kind of put in these kind of general. Let's get rid of that grid line. Okay, I think we'll use this one to do this. Kind of soft over here, coming down. Alright. And then this point continues on. Just kind of give this little edge. Very, very subtle, actually. Let's. Okay, then over here it kind of darkens up. Right about here. And then kind of fans out just a bit, and then you can see there's some brownish, actually almost pinkish tinge in that spot. And we'll come back to that, but let's just clear these grid lines out of the way. Okay. Now let's just take this. Honestly, let's get this sort of brownish. And we're just gonna kind of just fan this up. And then just kind of barely come right here, very light. And we'll overlay this with a different color, I'm sure. And just kind of leave it at that for now. Now, going back here, you've got some couple stripes we're gonna want to kind of put in, starting with maybe this dark olive. Yeah, okay. Actually, no, let's use that lighter one. And we'll just put them in. Okay, one starts about right here. Kind of curves down. And then it kind of becomes brownish. Very subtle. And then you can see this whole area's got this sort of brown, pink, grayish appearance. I'll tell you, colors can be a challenge. Or just shading things with the combination of colors you need. This one here. And then this one's not, I mean, not exactly a straight line, quote unquote. I mean, it just kind of. And then that one kind of very subtly. I think it kind of went the wrong direction there. Or maybe I need to end up here and kind of just. More like that. And then there's just this really tiny hint of one up here. Just kind of coming up in here and disappearing. And actually there's one above that, but that one we might not. You know, we'll probably just, So, anything else beyond that? Let's get some of these grid lines out of the way. Alright. So, and you can see if you look very carefully, there's tiny hints of stripes. But, don't want to bother with that for now. Alright, let's just address the top of this as it sort of intersects this dark. To be honest, I think we kind of need to cut into that dark just the tiniest amount. It may seem pointless, but let's just give it a shot. And then we'll put this olive kind of up here, kind of just crashing into that darker border. Okay. And then maybe tiniest hint of maybe some darker green kind of right inside there. And then let's take our olive and we're just going to kind of fill in this area here. And obviously we're not just going to make it solid, this color. We always overlay it with something. Even if we don't know why, just do it. Tiny, maybe a little bit of hint of darker green kind of going through this. Actually, darker olive might be better. Might be the better color to use, yeah. It's kind of in there. Okay. And then I know there's this minuscule amount of brown kind of over here. And then let's take this one again. Just kind of splotch, do some splotching. Like kind of over here. Kind of splotch this way, and then it kind of goes like that. Okay. Same thing up here. You just kind of throwing it down, kind of like what you see, but like I said, never matching perfectly. Needs to be a little bit darker. And I think we're gonna want to accentuate these stripes with this darker olive, just a little bit, kind of. It's gonna come like that. Okay. So, of course, the conundrum with this whole picture is gonna be these brighter white areas, especially in the flower. I mean, how are we going to make it pinkish, grayish, bluish, whitish? That's gonna be fun. But for now, here, let us take out these grid lines above this curve, and we're gonna, oh my dear God. And you can see there what happens when you use an eraser that still has black on it without cleaning it. And this is gonna be a problem. Let's see if we can clear it up just a bit, hopefully cover it, but let that be a lesson. Do not put the eraser on a paper if it's black. Always gotta watch out for that. Okay, let's vacuum that up. Now we're just gonna put some of this light olive in here, and then just kind of transition it into our light green yellow color that we're gonna run out of. And I'll tell you, that spot is gonna be hard to conceal. It's not gonna be a big deal, but it's gonna be hard, or it may just stay there. And then this quickly becomes very subtle yellowish with a little tinge of brown in there. Let's just kind of come up here with this. And I'm trying to see how this is gonna, I think I know how we're gonna delineate it from there, and it's gonna be that brown tinge that delineates it from the flower petal behind it. We'll just put a little bit of this. And honestly, we might switch to a real yellow. This very whitish yellow. Just kind of throw that in there. Just kind of coming in here. I'll tell you honestly, those extraordinarily subtle stripes coming in, I don't know if I'm gonna try to put those in there. We'll see. They're just a continuation of these, but that's gonna be hard. Alright. Let's try to smudge this all in and see what we get. You can see that spot is shining through pretty well at the moment. We could really violently push with the eraser to see if we can get it off, because it is not at the moment something we want to leave there. It's amazing how that color gets stuck on the paper. Let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and add a little touch of our bright green in here. And kind of pull all that up. Okay. Now let's see if we can take this brownish chalk, whatever color it is, and just kind of throw some of that tinge in here. I'll tell you, I think I've got some black still stuck on my finger. No, maybe it's that. Okay. I may want to kind of soften this intersection up here. Well, we want it to be, it's like you want it to be soft, but you do want it to be a complete overlap. Okay. I think the only thing we screwed up there is there might be just a little, what is this? This one might help with that. Alright, now let's kind of fill in, I think what we need over here. Let's think for a second. I mean, it has this very vague pink brown kind of, let's see, I think let's see, that's obviously going to be too bright. Let's just kind of go at it with this sort of darker brown. Just kind of, well, that's not very dark. Let's get some of this in there, this thing. See, I mean, this is probably gonna be ridiculous to try, but let's add some of this pink, whatever that is, and then some gray, since there's clearly some gray tinge in there. But I tell you, I'm not sure this is quite working, but it's worth a try. I mean, you gotta do something here. And we'll see if we can just kind of, you can see we kind of disappeared our stripes. Let's see, this one kind of, like that. And then they really extend all the way, but let's go kind of lightly, and I mean very lightly. Put this bright yellow green in here, and I'm sure you know we're going to go over it with white after that, but we're just gonna kind of put that in very light. And then I this stuff kind of comes down this way. Smudge that down this direction. And honestly, it's kind of the same over here. Throw a little grayish tinge to all this too. Kind of a weird area to work on. When the colors aren't sharp, it really is difficult to get it done. We'll see how it turns out. Alright. Let's see if we add just a tiny bit more of this pinkish tinge in here. And then kind of pull this down just a bit, all this stuff. Let's see. And then it just kind of honestly has this very subtle pink, red coming all through here. Let's see, add a little more. And we'll add white to a lot of these brighter areas to bring them back down. Let's see. Alright, let's go get our white. Kind of go into these supposed to be brighter areas. Including right here. There we go. I think we need to add more of this kind of greenish up here. There's really no white up there. So we'll just fill in the bright areas with this one. Let's see. Look at just kind of this subtle. It's almost like you can. It's hard to explain. Like there's just like this hint of brown right here that you need to sort of make sure you delineate from what's up top of it. Let's see. Let's add a little more, maybe darker grayish tinge to this. And then maybe make some ridiculous attempt at brightening the areas between these stripes, which I really is not going to work. But let's just see. let's just try something ridiculous. Let's try something here. I think we just need a little bit brownish, kind of right there, kind of. And then right here, there's like this just extraordinarily subtle sort of maybe stripe kind of. As you can see, I'm totally screwing this up because I'm not making these stripes over here thin. But let's just see if we can even make them stay by doing a tiny bit smudging. It's probably gonna make them disappear. I think we need some white. Kind of coming up in this middle part. Kind of just kind of right up in here as well. Some white right here. Let's see. Alright, let's add under here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put this bright green and then go over it with white, and it's gonna have very, I mean, this is probably over coloring it, but we'll go over that with white now. White plus that color tends to work so far in this picture. Right here, we need to make these very thin. It really becomes, almost disappears right there, so you just use the white to kind of erase. Alright, let's take, let's see something. We kind of need to make these stripes over here a little more subtle. Kind of drawing over them just a tad with that olive again. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's kind of smudge in here just a bit. Kind of smudge all this together. Okay. Well, let's come over here. Kind of put a little bit of this bright one in here. Kind of fill this area. Put this tiny little pink coming in here. Let's see something here. I think we need to kind of go over this with this. I think there's some brown in there. Honestly, right there. Let's see. Okay, now let's get some white and just kind of brighten this. Then it kind of disappears. Smudge that in. Honestly, there's some minuscule hint of brown right in here. Barely see it, but jeez. I'll tell you, you gotta watch out for the black. You will mark up your picture by accident when you get black on your fingers. Let's do something. Let's take this green chalk and just put a tiny bit of this in here. And just kind of, we're going to smudge that upwards. Smudge that up. See that? That worked pretty well actually. Pull it that way. There we go. Okay. Let's just, I'm not sure what I think about what we've done so far today. Something about it's aggravating me. Put a little brown more in here. And then maybe tiny bitty touch of dark green on the top part. There we go. Let's kind of accentuate these little splotches we made earlier a little better. Just a little bit. Okay. Maybe up here just a bit. Okay. It's a pretty sharp border there. Then it gets, for a moment here, it gets real sharp. Okay, let's little little bit of smudge. And I mean a little bit. There's some screw up in the paper right there, but that's okay. Alright, let us sharpen this border right up here. Even though we don't want sharp borders, this border is pretty sharp. Okay, just accentuate the black right as it touches. Let's erase that black. Now let us put a little more of this. It's really, let's try this pink. This just kind of right in here, just a little bit, and we want to make sure it appears to be perfectly continuous with this line and this line match, and I think it's okay for now. Alright. Maybe a little more white. And I'll use the chalk just kind of in here. Just kind of invading from the bottom there. There's just some delineation between here and here we have to create with this white. And you need a very clean finger to come behind and just kind of smudge it in just a bit. Just a bit. Okay. Let's take this. I'm just gonna put those stripes back that we keep erasing by accident. Very subtle. Okay. And I mean, it's just virtually impossible to kind of think that. I think this might be okay what we've done. Certainly not perfect, but you know, I've said 1,000 times, it's not gonna be perfect, or it's not gonna be perfect when I do it. But now I think we can kind of finally move away from this spot and complete this bottom, and then I think we'll be done with this entire flower in the bottom right part of this picture. So let's just, yeah, let's actually take our black, and we're not gonna push too hard. Okay, not push too hard, but we're gonna use it to make the outline of this remaining thing. Okay, we need a count. We're doing some square skipping, so you have to be careful. Okay. Just double check. Okay. So right here is where we start this one. just go up, curve up. When you're very subtle or very soft with the black, because it's kind of dark green right here. In fact, let's just switch to dark green. Even though this really isn't the green we're looking for, it's okay. Okay, just following the picture. Okay. I think we kind of screwed up over here just a bit. Needed to go a little higher. Want to curve without an inflection point. I don't know why. I feel like there's something screwed up here. I know what it is. Okay. We're really supposed to come here, kind of go like that. And that's okay because that is mostly going to be very dark on the outside. Let's erase some of that. I mean, vacuum some of that. Luckily got off camera. There we go. And I guess it might be fun to kind of make at least one. I know what we're gonna do. Before we do this, we're gonna come and complete this, everything from here and under here, and then we're gonna do this. So right about here. Alright, come here. Yeah, totally screwed that. That's okay, no big deal. No big deal. Alright, let's... Okay. And then from here to here. So inside of here is pretty black, so we'll just go over that. Pretty sharp edge there. I will take the chalk. Just put a little in there. Save time. Now let us vacuum that. And then instead of smudging, we'll draw in the rest. Smudging is black, is to be avoided because you will get it stuck to your fingers and never get it off for like the next hour or so. Okay. Okay, so let's just put in what we think we've got over here, which is maybe this, our nice dark olive. And honestly, I think we've got some of that dark forest green in there too. That. And then off to the left, let's use some of that lighter olive color. Tell you, just do something real quick. Just darken this. That's it. Alright, let's take some white and use that to lighten up this side of that little edge. And soften that side. Just a little white. Although it's actually more like a little stripe of white there. Let's see something. Kind of like that. And then we'll take a little blending stump we've used with black on it and just kind of soften up that edge. I think that's actually, let's take that dark green and just kind of go in here. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, now let's see. We're gonna fill in this whole area. You can see it's got almost a pretty dark yellow green on the left and darker yellow green on the right. It's really not ever black except maybe along that edge. Let's see, do I feel like taping? I guess I'll use more tape. I don't really like taping up the paper too much, but I know it really doesn't hurt it. It's just, honestly, it's necessary. So, alright, let's erase the grid lines. And we don't need to worry too much about leaving a dark spot because it's already dark. Although, you know, it doesn't hurt to remove the black from your eraser. I really need to find my gum eraser. Not sure if I'm gonna just put in this spot, save this for later. We'll see. Honestly, I can only do drawing for about 2 hours at a time. And I don't quite know why, but I can do it for many hours total, but in a row, I'm not quite sure. I've always had about 2 hour limit. Okay, made a lot of mess. Let's vacuum all that up. Okay, although it ain't been 2 hours, so we'll see. Won't make a difference when you're watching it at the end. Like I said before, be careful when you vacuum. You can pull paper up, destroy it, maybe rip a hole in it if it's bad and you don't want to do that. Alright, first thing we're going to do is do a back layer of, you know what, let's skip the dark green or the forest green and just use this one, which I guess isn't that much different, but it is a little lighter. Okay, let's do that. Go right there. Just fill it in. And we'll be a little lighter on the left. Maybe not quite as solid. But we will put some there. I always like these big, broad areas that require color mixing and some shading, although this is, you know, not that, I would say not even 1/20th as challenging as doing something like that. Let's erase it. I mean, okay, let's get a little closer, be a little more accurate with the edge. Probably not necessary to be this, to do the edges, but I don't know. Sometimes when you don't know what to do, just do what you think. That tape right in the way. That's okay. Just kind of shade it in, covering as much white as we can. So, white in a dark area is your enemy. Okay, now let's put our bright yellow green across the whole thing, but most a little more heavily on the left. I'm sure there's a chalk that's similar to this that I could use, but I don't think I have one. You also notice there's this very vague sense that there's like a vertical orientation to the colors, kind of going in this direction, like this. And we can do that when we put in the black overlaying all this. Be a little heavier with this on this side, on the left. Okay, now let's vacuum up that. Make sure your finger's clean, or clean enough. Smudge all that in. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to take some black and we're going to overlay it more dark down here and on the right, lightest top left, so dark that way. Okay. And we're just going to use the chalk. Rub your finger on it and do it that way. And we put a fair amount. And if you move your finger in the right direction, it'll naturally kind of give you those stripes. It kind of seems like that it has going in this direction. Now, right here we could, but we're not. We're gonna, well, we gotta be careful. Let's not put too much. Just a little bit more. Let's get a little bit. Honestly, I think the most yellow, the brightest area is in the bottom left. It's okay that I'm kind of extending into this black area because that needs to be a soft border anyway. Let's see, a little bit more up here. Alright, I think that actually looks decent as far as the shading goes. The borders on this side and up here don't matter. Let's take the black and soften this border around here. Just like that. Just kind of. Alright. Let's take that dark tip blending stump. Well, you know what? I got it. Let's just use our finger here. Kind of go like that. That'll work. Just kind of go from right to left. That'll. And then right there on the edge, when it becomes pure black, just kind of make a line. There we go. And then let's go in and fill every speck of light or white that's shining through. Because you do not want any light in a patch that's supposed to be completely black. It totally throws it off. Alright. Let's vacuum that up. There we go. Well, I think I'm gonna stop, even though I really do want to do this. I don't think I want to do it all in one sitting, and that's probably not gonna happen today, so. Alright, so let's zoom out and see what we got so far. Well, I guess that, let's see. Alright, well, we'll continue next time. Alright.